Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day today. And let's see what's going to be happening in the market. It was a little bit red, a few green spots there. Things were popping. There's plenty of opportunity, I can say that. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And who is here? Mr. Bull is here this evening. Look at that. What did you want to say, Mr. Bull? ORIS, RAYA, BBAI, and PLUG, SNAP. I know, Mr. Bull. We've been talking about all these on the show. They were all in the night note as well. I know they've been popping right there. What's up, Robin? Mr. Bull says hello. What's up, Mr. Bear? He's here this evening as well. And Mr. Bear says we could see a little pullback, but plenty of opportunities here. So there you go for Mr. Bull and Mr. Bear this evening. Good to always see them. And let's see what's going on in our market. So here we go. And laptop travel, Mr. Bull better be getting worried there. I do. I think we'll see a little pullback here. But again, I think we're going to see plenty of opportunity happening. So I don't think we have to worry because we're not really that long on things. So it doesn't matter. Look at that IWM right now. That's your small cap thing. Small cap Russell 2000 ETF right there. And that thing looks like it wants to jump up a little bit more. And that's what I'm looking at. And I think we'll have plenty of opportunities as we pivot around and find the poppers in the market. So I'm not worried, but I do think we will see some pullback. Our SPY was up today, as you can see, and it's in that top area, and it gets in this top, and it does pull back here. You can see it seems to happen at the end of the month. Look, happens at the end of the month each time right there. A little bit of happening at the end of August. So right around them August 22nd, you see some spike ups and then pullback. So that's what you're seeing right here. Look at that. September 22nd, little spike up. And now we'll see a little bit of pullback, probably a little bit of drawback, and nothing crazy. As I was saying on that small cap show today, it's more like a balloon. It's just getting blown up right here. It's not necessarily a bubble. I think the markets are just getting pumping with this AI. It just can't be stopped. Every time we turn around, something good comes out about AI, and the markets just keep exploding. So that's what it looks like. And again, we could see a little pullback here, a little correction, not even correction, a little pullback opportunity towards the end of September, getting ready for the last 3 months of the winter and the year 2025. So how crazy is that, guys? Almost done September already. I mean, the years just roll so fast. And laptop travel, 300% winners for the 4 a.m. Warriors today. So there you go. You just needed to have one of them traded smart, and you were good to go right there. So nice work, laptop travel. And here we go. Let's see what's popping here. And how about that RAYA, like Mr. Bull was talking about? And I mentioned this thing down at the 3-cent area, guys, way down here. Look at it. It was way down in 3. And now we're hitting 7+ cents. And it still looks good. That 20's curling up. So we'll be watching this riot tomorrow to see how much more it wants to run, but it does look like it wants to spike up a little bit more right there. And how about ORIS up to 30-something cents today? And it was cruising along right there. As you can see, 30 cents was its high. It was right around there. I know that. And this one looks like it still wants to pop up some more. So 2 great penny stocks. I've been putting them on the night note here. They've been setting up and getting moving there. So great opportunities right there. And I will tell you, I am in both of them with pretty significant positions that are way up right now. So I am very happy about it. I can tell you that right now. And so let's keep on cruising right here. So ORISRAYA, keep an eye on them bad boys tomorrow. AIHS, this thing's getting set up. I was looking at it the other day, probably around here, Thursday, Friday, I forget. And this bad boy is getting set up right here. Let me just keep an eye on it. I know I put it on the list, and we just been watching. It has that look like it's ready to do something. So let me see it tomorrow and see if it's going to be a good opportunity right there for that one. And this STFS right here, Star Fashion Culture, is a China one, and it was starting to run around. I remember it did run around, I think, last week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, whenever that was right there on September 11th. and it is starting to curl up. It's right past the 20 right now in a pretty good spot trying to get out of that basement. So STFS right here looking pretty good as well. So there you go for that one. And TSLR, there you go. That was your moneymaker today for Robin right there. And that is a nice one. And yeah, them ETFs are beautiful, aren't they? 2 times leveraged ETFs. They are great. I'm telling you, AMDL, look at this bad boy right here. Talk about another one that looks real good. How about that guy? That one's looking pretty decent right there. I must say it was up a little bit today, but getting set up. I mean, look at that thing trying to cross right through. So something nice with AMD right there. And you can see that one starting to get set up. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, of course. And let's keep on cruising. But yeah, Robin, we love them ETFs. That's why I put them on the list. If you see the list that I post out, next to the big caps and all them guys, you can see there's a row that we don't even go through. It just has all the ETFs, the bear and the bull ones, just so I can easily look over, see what they are. And they add some and take some away, but it's a pretty good list right there. And again, you can just pick out any of them. Like Tesla, there's also TSLL. There's a few of them. So there are different ones out there, but yeah, you can just find the one that you like, run with it, like TSLR. That was a really good one, and that's run up significantly. So there you go. Beautiful, Robin. Glad that you are getting into the groove now. It is a beautiful thing right there. And let's see right here what EPIX is doing. Had a little pull back, run around. It was kind of flat. It was pulling back a little bit. It was running up. I saw it when it was coming down right there. And that has a weird look right there in the basement. So obviously going to be watching EPIX tomorrow. I was looking at it today. Open door, like I said, pulling back. There you go. And Robin said, finally in the groove. It takes a little while. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to get into your rhythm, your routine, and find what trading style and what really works for you. Again, 4 a.m. warrior style isn't for everybody, but it does work for people. So you can get in there and cruise around. And I am much better with the setups, guys. That's where I've had all my success. So why would I steer away from that at this point? I'm like, why would I just go away from everything I'm really good at? So that is why I stuck to what I'm good at. And you can see the night notes just fire all the time. And these setups are easy, especially when the charts are moving. So just pay attention because, like I said, we've been picking them out, crushing it, and it's pretty easy. And we had the 4 a.m. Warriors, my night note, Ben's morning note, Godfather's in there. Everything's crazy. So, but I'll feed you beautiful setups nonstop pretty easily, and they'll never end because there's always great setups. Sometimes you got to pivot over to the small caps, penny stocks, big caps. So you just kind of work your way around the market and shift around and find what's cruising right there. So that is what we'll be doing. And there is open door. And again, like I said, pulling back right now. So that is what that's up to. QMCO right here. And that one was up today. And I actually sold a position. It might be some healthy pullback right there, but I wasn't playing games with it. It was way up on it. And boom, there you go. Right in the 13s. Get out. And it came back to the 11. So even if it pops up, but that look right there just told me, and again, been messing with the 1 minute candles right here, and it just looked like it had spiked up right here, and that was pretty much going to be your top area as it was pulling back. Whether it sets up tomorrow is another day, and I just didn't think it was going to do it. So it could be healthy pullback. Like I said, it stayed in the top, I noticed, at the end of the day, but it could easily come back out. So that is your QMCO and RGTI. We'll look at the computer hardware and quantum ones right here. And RGTI was spiking up early and also pulling back. They all started to pull back, and that's another reason why I figured that they would start to pull back a little bit after that big run up on Friday. QBT right there pulling back as well. QBTS right here. D-Wave also kind of pulling back a little bit in the top. Will it stay up there? It possibly could. And again, I would lock in some profits when they get up there. But QTUM, that Defiance Quantum ETF, just keeps on cruising up there. I don't know how it just keeps on running, but it certainly does. And IONQ's another one just keeps running up there. And that Z space constantly goes down. I don't know what's up with that company. And here's RCAT was moving up as well. So you do have a few of them pulling back, but some of them trying to bounce up like IONQ and RCAT, and we'll see if they really want to get cruising. They could also pull back right there as well. And your big cat's lying right here, really getting set up. Look at it. Remember, we were saying let it draw down a little bit more, and it's going to be a great one right there. JagX starting to cruise up today, and the Jaguar starting to run right there. So in a pretty good channel, starting to move around. And how about the cheetah right here? And let's see what the cheetah's doing. And that's just kind of hanging out and coming down to the MACD. So we'll see if it can run. And I know there is a tiger one. There it is, TIGR right there. And that's a market capital, and that's way down. And if you're speaking of tigers, Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, if you didn't listen to the concert interview I did with them, check that out. They had a concert event for Joe Exotic over the weekend in New Jersey. I stopped by, went to it, and it was pretty wild. I was talking about it Sunday night, and you can check out the video. I posted a video. It is up on the X and Instagram page, so check that bad boy out. And free Joe Exotic. Be sure to hashtag and try to get this guy out of there. Holy cow. Can you imagine sitting in jail, guys, and everybody knows that, like, you shouldn't be sitting there. I mean, everybody at this point, there's so much evidence, and every single person that was involved in the trial had admitted that they committed perjury. So it's not like it's a secret at this point. They admitted it on national television and all kinds of interviews. So it's well known at this point, and it's just bizarre. And can you imagine you couldn't get out of jail and everybody knows that you didn't do anything wrong? That would pretty much suck, I would say. And each day that goes by, you're just like, well, there's another day that goes by, and I shouldn't be here. And when's somebody going to get me out of this place? So, yeah, poor guy just sitting there hanging out in prison, not really hanging out, but just stuck there until Trump gives him a pardon. And I have a feeling it'll come sooner than later, but sooner can't come soon enough for Joe Exotic. So again, hashtag free Joe Exotic. If you post anything, check out the video and repost it at the very least, and show him that you care. And that's the least we can do for the poor guy. So there you go, Joe Exotic and the Tiger King. So we looked at that TIGR. That was dipping, but Joe Exotic, he's going up, and we'll try to get them pumped up and pumped out of the prison system. It's wild, I'm telling you. I can't even imagine that, guys. So, and like he says in the call, listen, it could happen to anybody, really. You see people falsely accused all the time. And I've spoken to him in one of the interviews. He's even explained some of the people that he's in prison with. I mean, you're talking about guys that have been in there for like 10, 15, 20 years for like drug possessions. One guy didn't even have anything on him. It was like what did they say? I forget exactly what it was. Like, he apparently had something, and like they arrested him for that. It was crazy. He never technically, like, physically got caught with anything. Joe Exotic was talking about him. He has like the most knockouts in boxing history or something. I forget the guy's name. I have it written down. But yeah, it's just crazy. Can you imagine all these people? And we pay for all this in taxpayer money. And a ton of these people in the prison system aren't exactly in there for the wrong reason, or in there for the wrong reasons. They're in there from like long ago drug cases. And I mean, there's people still locked up from cannabis charges from like 20 plus years ago when the laws were insane. And now you got a dispensary on every single corner. So it really doesn't make sense. You would think as they change the laws, they'd be like, all right, well, I guess we'd have to exempt you from prison since this isn't even illegal anymore. But now they just leave these people in prison. Clearly, it's a money maker for somebody, the private prison system. Obviously, it's a cash cow. Somewhere along the line, people are making money, and yeah, it's on the taxpayers' dime. So anyway, we'll get back to our list, but talking about tigers, talking about Joe Exotic, and all that good stuff. And we talk about everything on this show, just not all the stock poppers like ORIS, Raya, BBAI, and Plug. Look at this guy, the Big Bear, guys. I was giving this out the other day while we were live trading, and I was telling Ben, Big Bear. He's like, I don't like this one. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's gonna run right there. You can just see it. And that was back here, guys. And I would say it was what, around 6. It was under 6. I know that because it's up over $1 since I was in it and got in it right there. And how about your plug right here? That keeps plugging away and looks pretty good just running in the top. So just two of them I've been mentioning right there. And how about UNH? That is curling back up. It gets back over this little support resistance and makes it a support. It'll bounce right back up again. So we'll watch for that. But it could have a little bit of pullback right there as it's trying to get up there. Oscar's pulling back, as you can see. And let's see what our ABTC is doing. And that is up a little bit. And I'm telling you, this thing's got to be getting turned around. It's just not exactly ready yet. So I would keep on watching for the little bit of pullback. And crypto is still way down there today, guys. So we'll even look at it right now before we even go through the rest of the Trump crypto or Trump family business ones. And here is your Bitcoin right here, way down at 112. It does look like that kind of dip and rip look, but it almost looks like it wants to pull back a little bit more. Ethereum obviously pulling back, and that looks like a dip and rip kind of bottom look as well. We'll obviously know tomorrow. And Solana looks like it too. Did cross through the MACD, made some good room on the chart, and it does kind of look like it would like to bounce back up. Again, if they keep dipping down there, they're going to dip down pretty good. I think they might bounce right back up here is what it looks like right now, Ripple, because they all have the exact same look, like they got bottomed out. I don't know what the sell-off even was. I didn't even see anything. And Doge right there. So all of them have that same look. You can see Cardano and also XLM is stellar right here. And that one is trying to already bounce back. So there you go. It's stellar trying to lead the way. Chainlink had the same exact look. So could have been great opportunities for everything right here. SUI, that one pulled back. And then your optimism looks pretty similar. So I would say that crypto all looks the exact same. It almost looks like it wants to bounce and rip right back up, or dip and then rip right back up there. And then I'll look at ETF right here and see where that's at. Let me see where that was because I totally forget, to be honest with you. And it is still at what, the 552 market cap. So it didn't really move too much today with crypto pulling back, which is a good sign right there. So that's making a nice little level base and ready to move up when crypto does. So that'll be good. And Laptop Travel said the Bush family made a ton of money with Geo, that private prisons, during their years as president. So there you go. Geo is a company right there, and they do security and protection, prison systems as well. I'm trying to think of the other ones. It might say them right here. Well, that's not it, but let me see. Let's see. BCO looks pretty good right there. That's Brinks. And CIGL, that's way down right there. That's in Singapore. And let me see if anything else grabs my attention right here in the security industry. That one's running up. That's that Supercom right there. And that's about it. Not a whole lot right there. But yeah, there you go. The Bush family with the old Geo right there. RCAT breaking through the upper trend line. Yeah, that one is looking pretty good right there. Hitting that resistance, but it looks like it wants to take it out and make it its support line right there for RCAT. If it bounces back down, it'll be a good setup and a good opportunity. That's setting up nice. And here we go. Let's keep on cruising right through our Trump ones. And this is Pew right here and PEW Grab a Gun Digital, and that is trying to get set up and roll back off the MACD. So I think we'll have a curl up right there. And CPL Net Capital just been kind of hanging out in that channel right there. And this PSQH had looked the best out of them all and continued to run up right there. So there you go with PSQH. And Gush wasn't bad today. And I'm telling you, this oil and gas, it is looking really good. You got all kinds of great setups happening right here. It just keeps jumping out at me, guys, and you guys know it was jumping out at me like 3 weeks ago, and this one was turning back around. RBNE, you might want to keep an eye on this one for a quick little pop up, because look at that curl up right there. It was looking good. I was watching RBNE today, checking that out after that nice dip, and that does look like it's trying to do something. We'll see if it can really get curled up there. Even TMDE had been running up early this morning. It did pull back a little bit, but it ended up, and we'll see if that wants to roll off there tomorrow. So a couple oil and gas ones besides the Exxon Mobil and Oxy, they were both down right here today, but still setting up. So we can look at them again as we go on with our big caps. And let's keep on cruising right through and see what OCGN. That one's been solid, guys. It's up at the top right now, just kind of bouncing around right there. So OCGN not looking bad at the moment. And BMNR, this one pulled back, obviously, with Ethereum and them guys pulling back. SBET as well. And even UPXI is the Solana one, and that pulled back a little bit. That one looks like it's really setting up. So maybe it is that little dip and rip look right there. So we'll be keeping an eye on them three and seeing if they want to get rolling. How about Neon right here? Remember, I said it was going to get a little bright and start glowing. It looks pretty good to start curling up right there. So keep an eye on Neon at the moment. And good old App Lovin' probably finally started to dip down. It ran up early this morning. I did see it spike up, and I said, oh, that's probably the top right there, 657. And now you're coming back down after it ran up for a long time right there. So you did get that early morning spike up. And now it's pulling back finally for APP, but that had one heck of a run right there. And CoreWeave was up today, and that's running up and looking pretty good. So keep an eye on that one for a little momentum play. And what about good old Circle pulling back? And it's just staying in that channel, guys. So you have them run ups and pullbacks. And then it'll get set up to run up a little bit higher. Bitfarms came back down a little bit. It doesn't even look too bad up here, guys, I must say. So obviously, I'd have been locking in profits while it was up there, but it looks like it could try to roll up a little bit higher. So just letting you know how it looks. We'll see tomorrow if it really does want to. And ORBS is still pulling back here and not exactly ready. As you can see, it's not even curling up yet. So just been watching that one. KOPN Laptop Travel is running up a little bit today and looks pretty good to try to run up some more right there. So that could be a good one for tomorrow now. And there's your KOPN. Like I said, ran up a little bit of pullback there. It looks like it wants to run up a little bit higher off that trend line. So keep an eye on that in the morning. Good old Copen Corp right there. And Caterpillar was up some more. And good old CAT running in the top, Caterpillar, and not looking bad for the good old cat. So that is cruising along set up. And we looked at that the other day, put it on the list, and it ran right up. And again, your plug, bam, there you go. Beauty right there. And BBAI, the big bear, was another beauty right there. So two of them that are just perfect setups, and they're just running the way they should. ASTS was another one that we had talked about. That was a nice setup. And there you go. And it looks like it wants to continue its way up right there. So you could have a little momentum on that one as well. And this REBN trying to get set up right here in a good spot, I must say. Look at that thing. We were watching it since last week a little bit over the MACD. Looks like it wants to get curled up. Watch for that one to try to bounce up right there for REBN. And good old Lulu right here trying to curl up off that trend line. Looking pretty good, guys. So remember, we were watching Lulu way down there, and it does look a lot better. So keep an eye on that one to try to run. That's pretty good setup. And ASST was pulling back a little bit today. It's making that base down here. We'll see if it wants to really get curled up. Hopefully, it doesn't level down on you guys. And we see it down here in like the 330s, 3 something area. But we will look at it tomorrow morning, see if that can get curled up. It is going to curl up. It's just not ready at the moment for ASST. So watching that one. And TTD is looking pretty good, though, and curling up out of the basement, trying to move. That looked like it bottomed out. And I would say TTD is trying to get cruising right there. SNPS, that was a good one, Luis Rodriguez, and that had some great momentum right there. Whether it gets through that MACD or not and up into the 20, who the heck knows, but that one ran pretty significantly right there. So that was a good one. SNPS, so I'll look at it tomorrow, but good one on that one. And KRYS, I mentioned this one the other day while we were live trading, and this one was cruising up and moving right along, and that was the other day while it was right about there. And there you go, running up a little bit. It's hitting the top. Not sure if it's going to get in there, but it wasn't a bad one right there. And like I said, it's hitting that top. I don't think it's going to get in there, and that is what KRYS is looking at, Crystal Biotech. And it just popped up on the scanner the other day. And it looked like it wanted to continue its way up, and it obviously did. And again, I just keep throwing out some perfect setup for you guys and changing up the list a little bit. Basically, keep the beginning of the list the same because they're really good ones to go over at the moment. And then just kind of changing it up a bunch. So instead of asking everybody what they want to see, you guys can post them up during the live chat. And I just keep changing up the list and throwing out poppers after poppers after poppers for you. All you have to do is trade the ones you like. So that was one right there. GIS, a little bit of pullback, but this is getting set up. This General Mills we were talking about the other day ran up Friday, and this is getting ready. So keep an eye on that setup right there. And how about good old Ocean Pal? OP right here. Here we go. Ocean Pal was flat, but that's getting to be in the right spot. So in the next day or two, we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on Ocean Pal right there. And QuantumScape moving up a little bit to spike up. I don't know how much more it's going to run up right there, but there's QS, and again, it's in the top. It looks like it wanted to go up a little bit higher, but I have a feeling it could pull back. So just be careful on that one right there. Laptop Travel said ASST and LDI are his two most hated stocks right there at the moment. ASST, that Strive, definitely down there. It is going to base out. It'll look good. We were talking about LDI on the show today, and I do think we'll see it turn back around. Might come back down one more day right there, maybe a day or two, and then start your curl up, and we'll get cruising at that one. And OP for deep soul diving right there. We were just looking at that Ocean Pal, and you may get a pop up on this one relatively soon. There, deep soul diving, not sure where you got in at, but I remember you mentioned it. It reverse split, so if you were in before that, it's going to be tough because once they reverse split, it's almost like a donation back to the company. I feel like that's how I look at it anymore. If you get caught in the reverse split, you're in trouble, and it's hard to catch back up to it. Every once in a while, they can do it, but it is a tough one right there. So that is that one. And good evening, deleted. How are you this evening? SVRE. I'll look at that real quick. We'll keep on cruising back through the list, and then I'll get back to the messages right here. That's Saver One. I was trying to think of what the name was. Deleted right there while I was looking at it. Saver One. That's the name of this thing, and that does look like a bottom down. You can see it kind of bottom. It dips right there, and it looks like it's trying to cruise up. So SVRE. We'll take a look at that one in the morning. That's looking pretty good right there. So looks like it wants to bounce back up. And let's see, guys. I've been talking about this DNN as long as we've been talking about Open Door when it was at 50 cents right here on the small cap show. And this uranium one just keeps on cruising up there. So there you go. I've mentioned it many times. It just keeps going up, guys. So it's in the top. It should run a little more. And ARBB, we mentioned this the other day, and I saw it spiking up. I don't know if it was last night. I forget when we were talking about this bad boy, this guy right here, but that one ran up pretty good. And it could run up early in the morning right there for your ARBB. And so there you go. And we'll look at that one. Take a look at that in the morning there. Delete it if you're up and at 4 a.m. with the 4 a.m. Warriors. But yeah, you can take a look at this ARBB. And let's see what else has happened. This one's good right here. TONX, this TONX, ton, whatever the heck it's called. And like I said, I was just waiting for it. I think we're there now, guys. So again, patience pays off, and let's catch it while it's bottomed out and on the way up. Like so, it'll start curling up. So TONX looking good right there. And I think it's like its nav is like 12 or something, and we're at like the sixes, right? 7. So we're in pretty good shape down here, guys. And this is where I like them, and this is what I talk about, the setups and all. This is what I'm good at, and this is why we'll do exactly the setups and the things that I like, because they will. Sometimes I'm a little bit early, but guess what? They always pay off. So I've done pretty well in with doing them over the years, and we'll stick to it because it seems to be the most lucrative way to play it. Once you get on a roll with them, guys, you can just start cruising. Like I said, just start juggling them around like you're selling one, setting one up, run an option call right here, and just see what's going on. And the next thing you know, that your account's just compounding very, very fast. So That'll happen because I'm telling you, these markets are going to get set up. So we'll be playing it safe, obviously, if we're going to see a little pullback, but we'll also play these poppers right here, all these great opportunities that have been popping up and running up here, like all these ones I've been mentioning, ORIS, Raya. And again, they're penny ones, BBAI, plug, smaller cap ones, Snapchat right here. That was a beauty today. And that was running up, and we had mentioned that one early. So again, we're sticking with our setups, that's for sure. And let's see what else is setting up right here with FGNX and see where that's at. It was pulling back a little bit. It's we're gonna watch this thing because Ethereum's pulling back. So it was trying to set up, and then all of a sudden, crypto pulled back, and it didn't help that one out. That's for sure. And Salesforce was up today, and that one's another one looking pretty good to try to run up right there. So keep an eye on good old CRM. QLGN, I know, was on Laptop Travel's list this morning, and that one ran pretty significantly right there. Good old Qualigen, QLGN, and that did pop up. And let's look at that FFAI Faraday Future Intelligent right here. And this one is trying to get set up, just kind of hanging out. Your 20s coming down. We'll see. I don't know if it's exactly getting through that MACD right there. As you can see, it was curling up, looking good. And then it had a little flat action today. So we'll take a look at FFAI in the morning. Oklo right here, OKLO. This one's cruising up, and the nuclear ones were moving. Nuck was down a little bit right there, and we'll look for that one to try to rebound. So I'll keep an eye on that. But Oklo right there, OKLO, that one could continue its way up tomorrow. And Lightbridge was also running up LTBR, and that thing was cruising after Friday. So in the top, watch for that to keep its momentum for LTBR. And Blooms, we mentioned this last night. It was up a couple cents, but a couple cents was over 16% right there. It did look good, and it did run up BLMZ. So I know I jot that one down last night. And SRPT right here looking pretty good as well to continue its way up there. Look at it. It looked pretty healthy with the 20 curling up. So SRPT does look pretty good, as you can see. And it opened at 1764 and it ran to 1919. It's at 19, or it closed at 1919. It ran up to 1949 right there. And we do have a Monday night game. The Lions are at the Ravens, and the Ravens are about to tie it up with the extra point because they just scored a touchdown. So it's 7-7 in the first quarter, 5:40 left. And there's your Monday night NFL update right there. And let's keep on cruising right through and see what's going on with Holo right here, guys, because that's bounced up in the after hours and looking really good right here. So look at Holo in the morning, guys, to continue up. Your 20 and 50 met up perfectly, and that thing got cruising. So you could see a nice little spike in the morning. Even more, you're up to that 680 right here. So keep an eye on good old Holo right there for a little momentum. So there you go with them. And let's go ahead and take a look at our laptop travel list and our Jolie's Jams. We'll look at our Spy Mag 7 big caps and all them. And of course, we'll come back and hit whatever we missed on the on what you guys want to look at, and see if Robin wants to see anything, or Doge Mama 9. And so here we go. Let's see what's going on. Doge Mama said needed some lighthearted material, and he's so cute for a bull. And there you go. I had Bull and Bear on the show at the beginning of the show. So if you missed them, be sure to check them out. Do a little puppet show as well. Why not? We do it all on this show. Like I said, we talk about everything. We cover the entire market, crypto, and we try to do it in a fun way and just have a good time. So ALUR, here we go, Laptop Travel. Let's see what you have for us tonight, because they're usually really good setups. And ALUR, the other day, one of them ran like crazy. This one looks like it's going to pop up in the morning as well. And I do like to look at the Laptop Travel on the list on my TrendSpider. It makes it a little bit easier right here to see exactly what's popping tomorrow, because it just the setup's a lot faster. So that is why I generally do it like that. And you can see I use FinViz and TrendSpider, I mean, pretty equally. Sometimes I'll use FinViz and shoot through like the SPY and stuff. But then on these type of ones, I'll be watching the TrendSpider. And definitely if I'm getting into a trade, it has to look good on TrendSpider. Like if it doesn't look good on TrendSpider, forget about it. I'm just not interested in it. So it is the It's the one that I really go by, but I've been so used to the FinViz setups because I've been looking at them for as long as FinViz has been around, and I guess it's just my eyes are just so used to it, so I can pick them out, and then I can jump over in the trend spider and really see what's going on, like really get into the chart, like I'm in the matrix with it. So it is interesting, I have to say, especially after the brain injury. I see things a little differently now. I'm using minute charts and all that good stuff, and it's made it way better. I'm telling you, I've been hitting the tops, and I'm telling you, I'm just getting lucky right now. If I continue to do it for like 3, 4, 5 months, I'll change my say lucky and say I'm getting on to something. But I've hit tops like this before, had a good streak, and then all of a sudden you lose it. But I never was really using minute charts like that to be pulling the trigger like I am right now. And I'm telling you, I can just see different like things differently. So I'm gonna keep on practicing them and doing it, and I think we'll all definitely benefit from that because, like I said, it's kind of crazy when you can tell when to basically sell them. That's the hardest part, I think, and I've been trying to work on that for a while, and maybe I'm tapping into something finally here. So you never stop learning, that's for sure. As you can tell, I'm constantly looking and changing scanners around, just doing research all the time and changing things up. And because you're always constantly trying to stay ahead of the markets, that's what it's all about, is staying ahead of the trends. And if you're always on top of them, you can see things setting up before they start to happen. That's how we pick out a lot of things. So anyway, let's cruise through our laptop travel list, just giving you a little idea. If I don't jump back and forth, and like I said, I can kind of see these ones a little bit better on the Trend Spider BOSH, just hitting that 50 resistance. Going to stay in that little channel right there. CDIO, let's see what Cardio Diagnostics is doing. Had that little dip and rip look right there. I can see that one moving up. Maybe it doesn't pop up tomorrow, but that'll be a good one to move up. Crex right here wants to move up, so keep an eye on CREX tomorrow. That looks pretty good right there. And how about CVU right here, CPI Arrow Structures? That has a wild look, guys. Something's going on right there. You can already see it. So I would be keeping an eye on CVU because that one has something. Something's going to be going on. You can see the 20 curling up, all them weird looks, and getting ready to set up. So we'll be watching that. FIBO right here also looks pretty good. Fenbo Holdings, and that could run through to 50 tomorrow right there. So not looking bad for your FEBO right there. And let's see what else is going on with Laptop Travels list with GRAN. And another good one. That one's going to run up some more tomorrow, guys, and should hit that 50 area right there around 452. You're in the 430. So that should be a good one right there. And let's see what KORE is up to tonight. That one had a little dip and rip look, as you can tell, hitting the MACD line. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow, but that one certainly could get moving and pop right through that trend resistance right there for KORE. And the NDRA is Endura, right? Endura, something like that. Endura Life Sciences. We look at this. That one's going to curl off the MACD and run up right there. So that will be a good one. ODYS is going to cruise up some more tomorrow. That does not look bad either. And OLB right here is staying in that channel. Just a little healthy pullback. Nothing wrong with that. SOBR looking good. I knew that was jumping around today, and it's up. And that should keep some momentum right there. And VS versus Systems, that one should cruise up. So SOBR, VS looking really good for tomorrow. VBIX, let's see what that one's doing. If I type it in right, I don't know what I'm typing in, but VBIX right there, just hanging out. ViewBix will stay in that little channel right there, but I don't think it's ready to pop off tomorrow. And that's what you're looking at with your laptop travel list, and a lot of really good ones right there, especially setting up tomorrow. Look at that Sober versus CVU, ALUR, the very first one. So there's a bunch of them right there looking really good. And let's take a look and see what our Joe Leash jams are doing this evening with Rhyme. A rhythm. What do I always say? Rhyme. It's rhythm, and I don't know why, because it's RYM, and I just say rhyme every time. And it's also called rhythm, and it used to be what was it called? Agrify. That was what it was. Agrify. And it was a farm. It's a farm and heavy construction machinery company, but they are in cannabis industry as well. And it is pulling back right there for good old rhythm. RYM. I almost just said rhyme again, but it is pulling back. We'll see if it gets underneath that 20 right there. And Blink right here was rolling up over the resistance. I saw this in the top looking pretty good right there for BLNK. So Blink charging could run up a little bit more tomorrow into that top. And your Sizzle right here getting set up. And we know this one had sizzled up there before, had a nice dip, and it's going to be a good opportunity when it's getting ready to rock and roll. So we'll be watching that. And Sterling, guys, I'm telling you, this thing probably going to continue its way up there. We had that on the list the other day for momentum, and it continues to go up as a momentum play. So STRL is an engineering and construction company, and it does like to run up pretty well. Reveiw, I've seen another Reveiw today. I'm telling you, I've seen them all over the place on the roads. All of a sudden, these Reveiws are coming out of nowhere. So I don't know what's going on, but just based on that, I'd say it looks good, and so does the stock chart. So I don't know what Rivian's doing, but they have some kind of push going out there. I keep seeing them. And Symbiotic right here is rolling up and looks pretty good. Maybe it runs up a little more. It's hitting that top area. It looks like it wants to try to run up a little bit more right there for Symbiotic. We'll keep an eye on that for some momentum in the morning. And what about, I don't know what that is, but I was going to type in Nike right there. There it is. And I think Nike could have bottomed out right here. Let's look at it. It kind of looks like it wanted the bottom right there and it wants to curl up. They do have their earnings coming up on the 30th, which is next Tuesday, I believe. So a week from tomorrow. But yeah, it looks like it's going to try to get set up for around that time. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Nike right there. And good old DXYZ is getting closer to setting up. This is going to be a great opportunity, guys. And I would be keeping an eye on this and possibly looking into it. So DXYZ right there. This one's going to run pretty good. It's in the 20s, and we know it ran like in the 70s plus. This is the way to get into SpaceX right here. And that is a private company. SATS is the other one. And that, I don't know, I wouldn't mess with that. At that look right there, SATS, and they were selling them Spectrum licenses or something like that. So anyway, that is EchoStar SATS. And there you go with them, guys. And there your Joey's Jams, your laptop travel list. We'll hit the Spy Mag 7 big caps, all them guys real quick, and then we'll see what else is going on. Rivians are everywhere there in Houston. Same for the Cybertrucks. There are lots full of them for sale. Wow, that's interesting. And I do see a few Cybertrucks around in New Jersey area. You definitely see them. And like I said, I think they're ugly as hell. And I personally wouldn't want one because I just don't like the look of it. But it is the greatest thing for marketing. Like if I owned a business, I would definitely get one wrapped. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I wouldn't even think twice about it because I'm telling you, as soon as you see one of them things, you're like, everybody. I mean, my kids, like, there's a Cybertruck. Dougie, he picks them out like it's the only car he knows. And yeah, everything else is just a car. That's a Cybertruck. And yeah, he just definitely knows that, and they're just very unique, and you can see them for distances like a mile away. You're like, oh, there's a Cybertruck. And yeah, so I'm definitely not one to like the look of it, but if I owned the business, I would definitely like that thing wrapped. And yeah, most Cybertrucks here are wrapped with company names. There you go. I see a few of them, honestly. Most of them around here are more custom paint jobs, like crazy different paint colors and different things like that. I see one or two wrapped, but not as many as I would think, because again, I wouldn't drive it. Just to drive it around as a truck, I don't think it's that nice looking. I don't know how it drives, to be honest with you, but I'm not really in. You guys know me and EVs. I'm not into them anyway, so I would only be doing it for marketing purposes if I was going to do it. So anyway, there you go. And how are you there, DPAC? DXYZ also holds OpenAI besides SpaceX. I'm not sure about that, DPAC. That's interesting. Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel. Is that correct? Because I have no idea. You could be absolutely right there, DPAC JV, and they could possibly be involved in OpenAI. I'm not even sure. I just know that that's one way to get into SpaceX, that in this SAT ATS that I have up here. But I'm sure Laptop Travel or Luis Rodriguez or somebody from the show is going to answer that question for you there, Deepak. So we'll figure it out there. But I am not sure if they're in open AI. But it does look good, I must say, that DXYZ right here. It is getting set up. You can see it's getting pretty close. I don't think you're going to get any significant dips. So your bottom's probably in around the 25 area right there, 25.50s. You're not far off. And so, yeah, just watch for any other dips right there. So that is what it looks like on DXYZ. So let's just cruise right through our SPY, which was up today, down a little in the after hours, still looks good. And there's your dividend there. So it did pay that off. And $1.83 right there. So there you go. What is Pepsi's dividend? I told you I got a bunch of it. I know it just paid out $1.42. So there you go with Pepsi. And I do get dividend checks for that bad boy. Anyway, it's not enough to retire, but it's just a couple bucks here and there. And when they do their dividends. Anyways, here we go. And what we were looking at, the SPY, and we were talking about their dividend, and it's going up, looking pretty good in the top. Looks like it wants to continue up anyway. As far as it looks right here for tomorrow, Apple right there running up big. And that looks like it could continue its way up right there. So Apple looking really strong, I must say. And you can look at AAPU, and that thing was jumping up too. So they both look like they're trying to cruise up a little bit more at the moment. So, yeah, Apple looking really strong right there. I could say that. And Amazon right here, that one was pulling back at the moment. It was looking pretty good the other day, and now you're getting a little bit of pullback. We'll see when it gets ready to get set up. And Google right here is pulling back. And again, like I said, once they get in the top like that, you got to be careful. And how about Meta pulling back pretty big as well right there. So that's pulling back to the trend line. We'll see how much more it wants to pull back. They also did their dividend right there, 52 cents for Meta. How about that? And so that's what they did. Microsoft was down a little bit, but this is getting set up as well. I know we were talking about this getting set up, and the video was running back up, and that was set up. So there you go. It was bouncing right off that MACD. And that trend line right there. So NVIDIA and Apple looking good. And, of course, our Tesla rolling up some more right there in the 430. So that's looking good in the top as well. So where's the question? It's right here. It's there you go. I'll put it up for you. But, I put the wrong one up. Sorry. Deepak asked if DXYZ also holds OpenAI besides SpaceX. And that was the question there, Laptop Travel. So I'm not exactly sure. They do own the shares privately held of SpaceX. We do know that. And we're wondering, do they own anything in OpenAI? So that was the question, Laptop Travel. So I figured you were probably the one to ask you, or Luis Rodriguez would know. You guys are familiar with the company. I think Laptop Travel, you're the one that brought it to our attention. So there you go. If you know anything about that or can check it out, that would be great. And I told you Deepak will figure that one out. And here we go. Let's see what else is rolling with our big caps Mag 7. That was our Mag 7. Let's see our other list right here. AMC getting set up. I know it's down a little bit, but holy cow, guys, you're talking about a setup right there. Looking really good. It's going to kick things off, I think. And maybe these meme stocks get rolling for a week or two, and then you see the market shift. So maybe we do see, and again, I was showing you the IWM at the very beginning, and they do look good right there. So, and like Laptop Travel was saying, you could see some pullback, SPY's way at the top. I don't think we're going to see a huge correction, but I do think we're going to see a dip opportunity. I'll call it that. And there's going to be a ton of runners going on nonstop. We'll be pivoting around the market. And again, your GameStop, your AMC, looking really good right there. So just keep an eye on them. Chewy's not bad. It was pulling back right there. It was trying to set up. And Unity's just been pretty healthy, running up there, staying up there. So Netflix running up today, 40 cents. It was up a little bit more when I saw it earlier. But it's just, it pulled back in the after hours. I have to see this. Netflix right there. It's still in that channel, and I don't think it's going to crawl through this MACD at the moment. So you're going to be getting a little lag time with Netflix, so you can keep your eye on that one. AVGO right here was pulling back some more for your Broadcom. So that one was dipping down right there. And good old MU, they have earnings, and they are tomorrow morning, I believe. They report in the morning, possibly. I don't quote me on that, but I think they are in the morning. And what a crazy look that is right there, and curling up into the top. We have to look at this MU right here. It looks pretty good going in the earnings. You know how I feel about earnings, but that does look good. TSM running up even higher there. Luis Rodriguez. And so there you go. OpenAI represents about 3.8% of DXYZ's portfolio. There you go. Deepak, thank you very much, Luis Rodriguez. So there you are. And I would say you were absolutely right about that, Deepak. So yeah, not only do they have SpaceX, what's their percentage in SpaceX, Luis Rodriguez, if you know that, or can find that out. But OpenAI is 3.8%. So they do have a small percentage in OpenAI right there as well. I had no idea. Learn something new every day. See that? Thank you, Deepak and Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel and everybody else. Like I said, just a great show. We very informative. You have questions, we always get answers from you guys. So that's why I say this show is awesome. I just kind of put it together and facilitate it, and you guys send over great stock picks, everything else, and we have a great time on the show. And you guys talk amongst yourselves, and I just try to keep it flowing. And you guys know I can talk, so I just cruise, and we look at stock charts. But TSM running up some more. Looks pretty good to continue its way up tomorrow, guys. So I would say could have some more momentum. SMCI was running up a little today, and that's getting set up. And there you are with AMD. I'm telling you, this guy is getting set up and down a little bit in the after hours. Nothing crazy. You have that good support right there, like 154.93. So even if it pulls back a hair, you could be bouncing up. And again, it was hitting that MACD. It was trying to poke through earlier. I did see it. I've been watching it, and I do think the options are going to be pretty good on this bad boy right here. So keep your eye on AMD for a setup right there. And good old QCOM right now is moving up. We had like this one, and it looks like it's going to jump up into the top some more. Snow is pulling back some. It might not get through this MACD, as you can see, trying to curl through. Even if it pulls itself back a little bit, won't be the end of the world. It'll get set up, as you can see right there. It was hitting and pulling back, so that's why I was telling you. And it may pull back just a little bit to get set up again. And PayPal right here has been pulling back ever since that Google news. That definitely didn't hold up for it, that's for sure. And what about Intel pulling back there after it got topped out and ran up? And that one got pumped up with NVIDIA, $5 billion, and now it's coming back down right there. So that is what Intel looks like, and Trump probably got a good payday from that. And remember, I told you guys Dell is looking good, and Dell is looking pretty good right there, I must say. And how about our IBM? That's been running up, and that's been looking really good, and we've been liking IBM as well. So I had that on the list way early before, and you could have ran that up. Palantir, a little bit of pullback. I think it's a little bit healthy right there. And Sophie's looking good, and we've been liking Sophie right there. And how about Mara and Riot? I was actually surprised they looked that good today, being that crypto had been pulling back. You can see Riot still trying to push its way up in the top right there. And even CleanSpark was up. So like I said, it could absolutely be that dip and rip look in crypto, like I was showing you guys at the beginning. And MicroStrategy did pull back with the Bitcoin, though. And that's what happened to Sayer. Robinhood is just kind of cruising along up there. It might not be the best one. Coinbase pulling back. Let's see it pull back a little bit more to the support. But I'll tell you what, this bull is looking way better. Remember the other day I said this thing was had that look like it was getting curled up, looked a lot better after it was just kind of laying there flat. And there you go. Mr. Bull is starting to run right there for Webull. So keep an eye on that one. And SPCE right here, good old Space was up. And I'm telling you, this one is getting set up, guys, to run. I don't know what Virgin Galactic has going on, but they have something happening. And Boeing's pulling back. We thought it would. And remember, I said maybe it'll level down right there. holy cow, it looks like it's going to level down right there. It just didn't look healthy the other day as it was trying to curl up. It looked like it was getting pulled back like a magnet there. And DJT right here, Trump Media, was running up a little bit, and that doesn't look too bad at the moment. There you go, just spiking around right there. And there's your fund looking pretty good. You can see your 20 and 50 are going to meet up and shoot PHUN right up there. So there you go with PHUN, and you can see that starting to set up right there. And let's look at that McDonald's. It was up a little bit, and I think our bottom was in. I don't know if we even get through the curl up, but it's going to have a little bit of run up right there. It might not even be too significant right there. Disney pulling back some more, but that could try to bottom out. That almost looks like it's going to try to bottom out down here. So I think Disney will have to look at to get set up at the moment. Whoop, that's not Disney. That's Disney. And like I said, I think we do start to see that curl right around here start to move it, and then the 20 will have to meet it up and take it for a ride right there. That's what Disney looks like. Oxy, we talked about these earlier. It was down, but it doesn't look bad to try to bounce back up. And ExxonMobil was down, hitting that support line, and could easily bounce back up. And again, oil and gas, gush right there, looking good. RBNE, we looked at it earlier, and that thing looks like it could get curled up. Keep an eye on this thing because it has that crazy look right there, and it could get cruising. If it gets moving right through there, it could get fired off, that's for sure. And let's see what you guys want to look at, because that is it. And here we go. SpaceX makes up 35% of DXYZ's portfolio, and Laptop Travel said 38.1% of DXY's portfolio is compromised of SpaceX. So right around there, I would say. I know if you look on different AIs or Google it or anywhere else, you'll get slight different numbers, but I would say they got about 35 to 38% of SpaceX, and also about 3% in OpenAI. So OpenAI's performance without direct equity shares, as OpenAI remains privately held, Laptop Travel was saying. And here we go. Ready? Destiny Tech, ticker close-end fund providing public market access to private tech companies, holds on economic interest in OpenAI, equivalent to about 6.9% of its portfolio. So Laptop Travel's numbers are like 3% higher, but we know they're right around there, that's for sure. As of June 30th, 2025, this exposure is through DXYZ OAI LLC, which owns profit participation units in OpenAI Global LLC. So that structure gives DXYZ indirect ownership, like benefits from OpenAI's performance without direct equity shares. And so they're not making any voting choices, but they do hold some percentage in the company. That's what it looks like right there. And of course, SpaceX. So that is our DXYZ we're talking about right here. And this bad boy is getting set up, guys. I'm telling you. Have a little bit of time, but watch for that bottom. It'll be a great opportunity right here. And we know it's run pretty significantly before it's down here at the bottom, getting ready to rock and roll. So that is what we're looking at and talking about right at this moment between Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, and of course, Deepak right there. Ask the question. So good question. And, great conversation. Thank you guys for getting that information for us. And Robin's hanging out. And let's see what else has happened on Mr. Bull and Mr. Bearer on at the beginning of the show. And Doge Mama 9's hanging out. ASML, that thing's been running up there like crazy, guys. We had mentioned that every time you look at it, it's up like 20 something dollars, $30. Thing just keeps on cruising along. It's expensive, but them semiconductor equipment ones have been cruising, I must say. Look at ACLS running up there, ACMR, all of them. There's Air right there. That actually is in the top. I was talking about that. It's one of them ones that I wouldn't want to chase because it's way up there, but looks pretty good to try to pop up. You can see it's still in the top, and they've been running up there, guys. So it could be a great opportunity. Matt right there. I mean, every single one of these looks pretty good at the moment. So you can go, whoa, that one. Form was running up. Yeah, look at these things. India right there. All of them, guys. Which, you know what that means? Your semiconductor ones are probably going to be starting to get fired up. We know they were just running up there and pulling back a little bit, and it could be a little bit of healthy pullback. Like I said, I just wasn't I wasn't messing with it right there if I was up like that. So QMCO, and that's why it's on the list, guys, because I do play that one. Remember, I told you it was a great opportunity way down here. Some of the other ones had already run pretty well. We found the bottom, ran it up right there, and we'll find it again a million times over and over. And this plug looks like it's going to plug away some more right there. And what else do we have that you guys want to see? TSM, that one is cruising along too as we were looking at that. And what's Toyota Motor doing this evening here? That's up over that 200. That's getting set up right there, Luis Rodriguez. And we were talking about the two-time leverages. And TSLL is Laptop Travels play along with J Nug right there. And J Nug's been a great one, even Nug too. And these two have been great. I put them on the night list, the night note every night. And now you can see why. They've been just cruising along, guys. They've been beauties right there. Let's put it that way. So there you go with your J Nug and even Silver right here. SIL, that's been running up. NSLV right there was up a little bit. So keeping an eye on them always. And Laptop Travel said he will be co-hosting the Story Trading Discord this morning and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. So there you go. Laptop Travel, sweet. It is Rosh Hashanah, and I know Ben grew up right around me actually. So when I think Ben was heading to his family's house right there. He's like 10 minutes away from me. It's pretty wild. But yeah, we grew up right a couple towns away. As a matter of fact, where my kids do karate is in the town that Ben grew up in. And so, yeah, I know he was packing up during the small cap show. And it is the first night of Rosh Hashanah there. So, and it's the first day of fall or autumn, whatever you call it. So, yeah, it is the first day of that and Rosh Hashanah. So, happy Rosh Hashanah to everybody. And let's see. So, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, sweet Laptop Travel. I'll check it out for sure. And big crypto announcement tomorrow, as per the White House. I did hear something like that, Luis Rodriguez. And that's why I kind of think also you have that beautiful dip and rip situation. I mean, they look like it for something. And then you have something coming out as well. So I'm not exactly sure what the news is, what it's supposed to be. I didn't even see any rumors or anything. So interesting. But yeah, it does look like a dip and rip look right there. And excuse me. And Tesla right here going to 500, take it to the bank. Could happen as early as next month, Luis Rodriguez is saying right there. I do like it. And with the White House announcement, watching that ABTC and that PSQH, I do think that PSQH is looking pretty good as well. And of course, you have to be watching ABTC. It's the Trump family crypto company. And Rich Tech Robotics right there, still ripping into the top. I would watch that to be a little momentum play. I think Air could be a momentum play as well tomorrow. So obviously, these guys that get into the top like this and keep that momentum at the end of the day, they continue to run up there, Zach. So I do think Rich Tech Robotics is looking pretty good to try to run up there. We were talking about the Bush family and Geo and the prisons earlier. And there's that list I was looking for from Luis Rodriguez. Let me see. I missed it earlier. DOLL, Duolingo, or whatever. That one's looking really good right there and going to run up. So DUOL. Keep your eye on that one. Oracle looking pretty good as it runs back up as well. So you can keep your eye on Oracle. And Clean Spark, we already looked at that. It was running up right there, looking pretty good. And SNPS, we looked at that synopsis, and that thing keeps running up. And that one's looking good right there. And how about UUU, the 4U's energy fuels? Wow, that thing keeps running up there as well. So that is looking pretty good. And let's see, CWVX is the CoreWeave two-time ETF right here, Robin. So keep an eye on that one for sure because CoreWeave has been looking good. And Wolf, TerraWolf right here. Let's see. It's still in the top. That's one I might not. You'll probably get a little momentum play, but it's up there. Be careful with that one. SMCI, that one's curling up and looking good right now. And Lulu's looking good. We looked at that one. That one already looks good. Lightbridge is looking good. That shot up could be a good momentum play in the morning. Toyota Motor, I just looked at. And that one was shooting up there, setting up. And what about Starbucks right here, trying to cruise up? So that's a good list right there, Luis Rodriguez, I must say, and a bunch of good ones. Let's see. Uh Laptop Travel said his daughter's 9. She loves the cat chart. She tells me she tells Laptop Travel. So she's becoming a stock market savant right there, I would say, at 9 years old, because that is a good chart right there. I must say, it's set up and it's going to pop up, and it is the old CAT caterpillar. So there you are with that. We were talking about a couple ones that are down: ASTLDIOP. And Saver One's actually setting up right there. Deleted, brought to our attention. And let's see what else is going on. Deepak asked about SLNH. Did we look at it? I don't even remember now. Deepak, hold on. SLNH. Saluna. This one was up today. I do remember seeing this now that I just clicked on it and saw the name. And yeah, that was popping up. You do have that resistance right there, but it looks like it jumped right over it in the after hours. So I don't think you have to worry about it in the morning. So I would say keep an eye on that Saluna 246, 247. Yeah, that looks pretty good to continue its way up right there, Deepak, to try to keep the momentum into tomorrow. And after hour gainers right here, Super League SLE. Whoa, holy cow. Talk about that one. Jumped up big time. That's an internet connection content one. Holy cow, SLE. Look at that bad boy. And I'm telling you, these setups right here keep flying. When you're 20 curls up like that with your 50 right above it, they're the big runners right now. And it changes around, so you can't go by that forever. But right now, they've been popping up. NUI right here, NUAI, New Era Energy and Digital. That one's up a little bit right there, like almost 50%. IPDN, Professional Diversity, and that's up in the after hours, up to $4. And that was a good setup right there. SSKN, Strata Skin Sciences, and that flew up in the after hours as well. So there you go. It's some good gainers right there, and so obviously some good ones to look at for tomorrow morning to keep some momentum. And let's see, ARBB was on the overnight watch list. That one did cruise up right there. And NVNI right here for deep soul diving. Let's see what it's up to. Detroit is up 14-7, second quarter, 5:55 left. So almost halftime right there. And Detroit's kicking off. They might have just scored a touchdown, as a matter of fact. So there you go. Every time I turn around, someone scores. And there you go with the NFL update. And let's see what else is going on right here. NVNI, that's what we were looking at. And that does look pretty good running up there. Let's see. It could keep a little momentum in the morning, I would say, NVNI. So, yeah, that one doesn't look bad. Deep Soul Diving Holo I had on the list for tonight. I added it at the end. And that thing is jumping up, looking pretty good right there. Taxi Driver, I like that. Luis Rodriguez said, Daniel Jones leaves the Giants and leads the NFL in passing. Saquon leaves Russia, leads rushes for 2,000 yards and wins Super Bowl. McKinney leaves and leads the league in interception. You're talking about all the people that left the Giants. That's pretty funny. You're absolutely right. Kind of crazy, isn't it, Luis Rodriguez? I would say so, yeah. Saquon, he's crazy in on the Eagles right now. I mean, rushed for over 2,000 yards last year, Super Bowl, and just keeps tearing it up. The guy's on a mad tear around here. Anyway, the recipe for success for the Giant players is to leave the team. You're not kidding. It sounds like that's a good recipe. And Pugh ever going to move again? It sure is, Robin. It's getting ready to move back up there. So get ready for it to roll off that MACD and start cruising. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow could be a good day for it, it looks like. So keep an eye on your Pew tomorrow there, Robin. We'll be watching it for you. And Chipotle right here, good old CMG. That's starting to climb back out. You're right about that one. Looking pretty good for Chipotle. We were looking at that before it gets set up. DraftKings usually runs right around this time with football season fired up. So here's DKNG, and it is starting to set up. Whether it gets through the MACD this time, I'm not sure, but it will next time for sure. And we are getting that curl up. So I think it did probably bottom out right there. 4208, and you're in the 43. So DraftKings could be one to keep an eye on. We were talking about Rivians and the Cyber trucks, and I said I would definitely wrap one. MBX right here, MBX Biosciences, and that went up 100% today, straight up $10 to $20 right there. How interesting. and that thing shot up, but I'd have to look at that tomorrow. And we were talking about DXYZ pretty in depth right there and what they own and everything else. Our cat right here is setting up. We were looking at this earlier when we went through the big cats and all them, and it has jumped up there over the line and should be pretty good for tomorrow. So keep an eye on good old our cat. And let's see, Citigroup right here. That's in the top. They have earnings coming up October 14th, so you're down the road. And that one is in this little channel right here. You have to get over that 104, and it will bounce up some more. And like I said, they get into the top like this. They have been running up there. So deep soul diving, I could see Citigroup running. It's not my cup of tea like that, but it could run up into the top. Cine Group right here is looking. Oh, that's the one you were looking at, and Cine Group. I think you hit the enter button. Now that looks really good right there for CN Energy. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. I do like that look though. CNEY. So yeah, that looks better than Citibank to me anyway. So or Citigroup, whatever it is. It's in a bullish trend, but again, it's in the top. And CNE is looking pretty good right there. CNEY. And let's see. Top Travel answered our question right there. We were talking about DXYZ there for a little while. And let's see what else is happening. SGBX. Let's see what that's up to. And Safe and Green Holdings right here. And that recently had a split and is trying to get set up. That looked like the bottom on the split right there back on September 8th. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow. Let me take a better look at it over here. And yeah, I'd have to look at it tomorrow. It's trying to, but I'd look at it tomorrow there for you deep soul diving. So remind me about that. Michael Anthony, how are you? We were just getting done everything, so I figured you'd show up right here. Let's see. Good Clean Spark has new. Did they have? Hold on. Did Clean Spark have news today that will help shares go higher? I have no idea if they had news, but it did look pretty good there. It's in the top though, so you got to be careful. And here you go. Clean Spark shares rise after getting $100 million Bitcoin backed credit from Coinbase Prime right there. So I would say they did have news. And there you go, Michael Anthony. I answered your question about news. How about that? And looks like JOB has lots of volume. That has 3 more directors with no debt, 18 million in cash, price target of $2, and to close at 20 cents as a staffing company. Let's see what I know. JOB, and it is Gee Group. I was trying to think of the name of it. Gee Group is what it is. And let's see what this is up to. I've traded this a bunch of times before. It's all right. I mean, it jumped up there today. I'd have to look at it tomorrow. It looks like it might pull back a little bit right there. JOB. And yeah, I'd have to look at that. Could roll off of the MACD right there. What about Joby? That's an aviation company, and that had been running up recently, and that's JOBY. And I'm just curious what it looks like. And running up the other day, I do remember a little healthy pullback. That one don't look bad right there. So you keep an eye on JOBY right there. And JOB is a staffing company. I do know that. I am familiar with that company, as a matter of fact, Michael Anthony. And FCEL right here, good old fuel cells, been running up. I had this on the night note a couple days ago last week, and bam, look at that thing running up big time, Luis Rodriguez. So that's a beauty. And what's the news on TerraWolf? And that's WULF. And check out the news to understand if news is pushing shares. We don't care about the news or CLSH. We don't care about the news at all. When are you going to learn this, Michael Anthony? But we'll see if it does have news here today. Have to, what does that say? Build out? I don't even know what that is. That say build out? I think it does. Have to build out energy for AI demand as China outpaces us, says Futurum Group CEO. I don't even know if that's that company, but I have no idea what they're up to be honest with you. TerraWolf right here. I know Luis Rodriguez has been liking it. It's in the top. It could, like I said, it could run up there, but I don't know if I'd mess up with it at the moment right there. And what about Wolf Speed right here? That had been popping up. That's pulling back a little bit right there. And let's see what else is going on here. And the video is selling off until news came out. to reverse the rally. Well, that's always what's going to happen, or it hits a spot right there, and then obviously they get set up, and you could see it getting set up, and it's going to run. AMD is going to have something coming out, I would assume, because that's getting set up right there. So that's what they look like, and must know the news on companies to know if the rally keeps going, like WDC, Western Digital Corp, right there. That is up a little bit, and that's way up at the top. I probably wouldn't be messing with that guy up there. That's for sure. That's not my style. And LRCX is another one way up there, and another one I probably wouldn't be messing with. But again, these semiconductor equipment materials, we just went through all of them, as a matter of fact, and they are all popped up there. So that one could continue a little bit of momentum. Good old path, UI path right here, and that has a good path up to $14 area. So yeah, DPAC, that does look pretty good right there for your PATH. Let's just look at it over here. And yeah, I'd say that's looking pretty good right there. Could keep the momentum for PATH for that path. So keep an eye on that one. And Laptop Travel SLE, and why was it up? One guess. Yup, announced the crypto initiative. Same play, different day. So they're getting into the crypto world, huh? Is that what it said? Did we look at it? Pioneering digital asset treasury investor Evo fund to invest in Super League positioning company to increase shareholder value. So there you go. And that's every company, and that's why they jump up 200%. And let's see what else is going on. That WDC and LRCX, they are making new highs right there. They are jumping up there, Michael Anthony. Sophie, that's looking good. We were already talking about that. We do like that one. It's going to continue to cruise up, so we do like that. The C was a typo, and you do like CNET. That is looking good right there. And Michael Anthony said C is correct. It's Citigroup, but not it's in the top. You might get a little spike up, but he was trying to type in CNET, which looks pretty good right there to keep a little momentum. ALXO right here. Oh, let me type it in correctly. And is that an I or an L? ALX Oncology? Yeah, it has to be an L. The thing's ALXO. I'm not sure what this even is. I've never even seen this one, I don't think. But let's see. It's crawling up, hitting that MACD. And let me see. It looks pretty good there. I just don't think it's curling through for some reason. ALXO. Let me take a better look at this bad boy. Yeah, I don't know if it's getting through right there. It looks like it wants to off that trend line, but it doesn't seem to want to get through that MACD for some reason. I'd have to look at that deep soul diving, a Larity right here, ALLR. That looks like it could continue up tomorrow. You're probably hitting around this $2 area, a little lower, and get stopped at the top right there. So that's what ALLR looks like right there. Let's take a better look at it. Yeah, it looks like it tried and jump up again. Might not even curl through that MACD right there. So just watch for that and know that it could run up but not cross through, get set, pull back a little bit, set back up, and then run back up again. ABAT right here, American Battery Technology, had some earnings. What did they do? They had earnings this morning, and it's running up there, hitting a little resistance. I don't know if I would trust that one tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. That one's a coin flip right there, so I probably wouldn't mess with that. NVIDIA news made reverse going down to be up today. That sure did. And NVIDIA is going to help Intel, and yeah, they put $5 billion into it, and could hurt AMD. Well, AMD is going to have something coming out. Watch, you're going to see something happening here. That chart's setting up to try to get moving. So, not sure what they have going on. But all these companies are going to be perfectly fine, especially the U.S. companies in the semiconductor. So I don't think AMD is going to get hurt at all. None of these companies can even handle the volume by themselves. It's just too crazy right now with the AI. So they're all going to be doing perfectly fine right there, Michael Anthony. And STX, what's that one right here? Let's see. Whoop, let me see. That just hurt. Can you believe my finger still kind of hurts a little bit from when I cut? I mean, it's perfectly healed up. Look at that thing. It's like you can't even tell anything ever happened. My ring finger right there. It's even the fingernail grew in perfect, but it's still pretty It's still pretty tender right there. I hit it on the keyboard just the wrong way, and it really hurt. It like just sent like a shockwave through my body. It's crazy. But I remember the hand surgeon guy that I saw told me that would happen. He told me my finger's going to be like really cold this winter. He's like, "Oh, you're going to be able to tell. I'm telling you right." And he's like, "I'm just giving you a warning. Your finger's going to feel weird." And I'm telling you, it does. It certainly is not the same feeling, but it did grow back. I mean, remember, I grinded my finger down to the bone, and my finger grew back in less than a month. That was the craziest thing I ever saw in my life. That was pretty wild. But yeah, it's still a little tender there. I have to be careful when I hit it, and it just sent like literally a shock down my whole body. It was pretty wild. It just smacked it. It was like, oh. Anyway, I don't know if my face looked like I just went into pain. That's why I was telling you, because I don't know if I was just like, what the heck? Because it definitely hurt. Who cares? We move right on from that. You know that. And here we go, targeting 16 on WULF. They've been putting out shareholders first for, they've been putting shareholders first for over a year. Zero dilution, all shareholder value for good old TerraWolf right there. So Luis Rodriguez does like it. And you will get a roll off right there. Look at it. You're about to roll up into that top. So I'd even expect it to try to run up a little bit more tomorrow right there, as a matter of fact. Let's see if I missed anything over here and what else is going on. And let's see what our news stories and things of that nature. We looked at crypto, did all that. Asian stocks edge up after record on Wall Street. It's just a new record every day. Stock futures are a little changed after 3-day win streak for the S&P 500. And what the heck does that say? Hong touts OpenAI deal as biggest AI infrastructure ever. I don't even know what the heck they're talking about. What is Hong? HUANG. What is that? I don't even know. Will that even come up? HUANG. I don't even know what was that, like a China company or something, laptop travel? What are they even talking about? I don't even know what they're talking about right there. Hong touts OpenAI deal as biggest AI. Let's click on it and see what the heck it is. I have no idea. Nvidia jumps on $100 billion OpenAI investment as Hao touts biggest AI infrastructure. What is that? Is that what they named it? I have no idea. Interesting. I don't even know what they're talking about. Shows you how much I pay attention to the news and stuff, guys. Biggest it's the name of the CEO, Jensen Huang. What am I doing? What am I talking about? I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? Yeah, it's their CEO. Without seeing his first name, it just like completely threw me off. So, all right, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about Jensen. I don't know. It just said Hung, and I was like, what? Is that a company? Didn't even register to me, guys. But now that I see it's Jensen, it's his name. I got it. Now I see what they're talking about. And these are the top 22 stocks pushing the S&P 500 in the record territory, and it's not all big tech. And Nasdaq rises to record after Nvidia open AI link up. So, guys, like I keep telling you, the every single time the market wants to pull back, you just see something else in AI catapult it, like you just did with Nvidia and OpenAI. We've seen it with Intel and Nvidia. We've seen it so many times. It just keeps happening. And anytime that they get stuck, they just go, "Oh yeah, we're talking to China, and we're gonna have a trade deal," and then the market pops off on that. So it's not like they don't have this market completely under control, and they've been doing it pretty well. We know that. So I would say that's what's going on right there. Do we know why these Bitcoin miners are running like APLD? Yeah, because crypto is just running out of its mind the other day. And I'm not sure why that one is spiking up. We had been looking at this one as well. BTCT is another one right here. That one's getting set up. So just a little bit of pullback. They've all been running. And like I said, Trump, something big crypto announcements coming out tomorrow from the White House. And these things look like a dip and rip, guys. Look at that. Bitcoin, that looks like a complete dip and rip look. So you can take that and do what you want with that news, but that's what it looks like at the moment. And Hong is the CEO of NVIDIA. Thank you, Laptop Travel. Yeah, I was a little slow on that. I just seen his name, and without seeing Jensen before it, I was completely confused. So it doesn't take me much. You guys know that. It just went right over my head. I'm like, how long is that a new company? What the hell are they talking about? It's the CEO. Anyway, and so yeah, coins there. The crypto is down today, Michael Anthony. And again, it looks like a nice dip and rip coming. That's what it looks like. And some kind of news is coming out. This AGMH ran up big the other day. Looks like it's trying to hang out in the top right there, but we'll see if it absolutely does. It's a computer hardware. Another one makes miners right there. So yeah, these computer hardware companies and stuff, they were jumping up. And yeah, that's what the market looks like. You had Nvidia popping up, Tesla looks good, Apple's still jumping, Oracle's looking pretty good. And we'll see what the rest of the market's going to look like tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to look pretty bad. It looks like the market wants to continue its way up right there is what the SPY looks like. And let's see. You see that you don't understand why any of these miners like a yeah, I have no idea. It's really from data centers. Well, yeah, data centers keep on cruising up. We've been looking at a few of them, and it's AI completely, Michael Anthony. This is what I keep talking about. AI in general just keeps the market cruising. Whether it's your data centers, your chip makers, your quantum ones, they all have to work together. None of them can handle any of what's going on right now. So none of them are going to go under. They like Nvidia, they're all sold out. They can't even keep up with the competition or anything with their what the hell word am I looking for? My brain's like fried, but you know what I'm looking. Yeah, they keep up with their demand. That's it, supply and demand. I was trying to think of that word, and yeah, it's just crazy right now with AI. Everything's AI, guys. You can see it. I mean, it's just nonstop. It changes. I told you, I work on a couple projects, and it's nonstop. AI is going to be just keep running up. And it's going to keep running up for like the next year or two. And like I said, it's not a bubble. We're in like a balloon, and it's like a punching bag balloon. We're not big guys, and it's just starting to get inflated. So it's got a lot of time to keep going. Of course, you're going to see pullbacks. The market can't run up all the time 100%. You got to have some pullback and opportunities. But yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. It's an arms race for chips. It's exactly right there to Luis Rodriguez. India's betting 18 billion and to build a chip powerhouse and what it means. So yeah, that's what you're seeing, Michael Anthony. And it's not really more about data centers than anything. It's more about the entire AI industry combined. Yes, you need your data centers because now they're programming AI, but you need your chips, you need your quantum, you need this, you need your cooling agencies, you need them companies to be able to cool these data centers. They're probably just as big as your data centers now are these cooling companies, so you can look into them as well. And chips and bits party, there you go right there. But yeah, that's all it is. And like I keep telling you, they just keep running up the market with AI. You're just seeing it just pop up every single time the market can have one little pullback. Big news comes out, and if they don't have the news, Trump just goes, hey, we're talking to China about a trade deal, and it sounds good, and then the market runs up enough for that the next AI news comes out. So that's all you see. And obviously, as the AI keeps pumping things up, you have all these companies trying to jump into treasuries and crypto treasuries as well, and that's what we're getting into a market. And you just got massive amounts of liquidity, money running into it, and the market's getting pumped up, and it's just not stopping here. It's just yeah, it's a natural evolution of AI. Is personal agents that can advise you on every aspect of your life, essentially a high-end concierge personal assistant. And you're seeing it everywhere, and every single company is using it. Like I was saying about a year or two ago when I first was introduced to it, and I said, there's no way that these people are going to stand a chance against this stuff. And so you see what's going on. And so, yeah, that's all you're seeing there, Michael Anthony, is just this big AI push. And you think the typhoon would push the market lower tomorrow. Nah, it's just never going to, it's not going to stop, Michael Anthony. It's just going to continue up. So you can either ride the wave or you can sit on the sidelines and just watch it go by you. Watch the surfers keep riding waves because it's not crashing right here. And it doesn't look like it wants to crash. Every time it looks like it even wants to pull back, it goes even higher. So that is what you're looking at the market. And crypto, like I said, something big's supposed to come out tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure what the news is or what's happening over there, but something is going on, and it does look like a dip and rip situation. As you can see, crypto is pulling back right there, and that is what it looks like this evening. And let's just see if we missed anything over here real quick. Open doors definitely pulling back. Nvidia's up. ORIS, you guys know we were a little early to the party on Snapchat. Plug and everything else. ADAP had run up already. YAS little pullback, but that one's still a good opportunity. BBAI, the big bear, we were super early for that one as well. AgriForce, we talked about it last night. It was running up there, and there's that Neo pulling back right now, and that Bit Farms right there. Apple looking good. Tesla's running. Grab was running up as well. There's that Riot, DNN, and American Airlines pulling back. So that is what that side looks like. Let's see if we have anything with some unusual volume over here that grabs our attention. That Boxel did run up a lot today. What's this one right here? DRAY. We'll have to come back to that. That IPW did run up today. iPower or something it is. And what else was running? ARBB. We talked about Qualigen. WOK. Good old Walk not looking bad right there. We'll look at that guy real quick. And let's see what else is grabbing our attention. Anything else trying to cruise up there? ARB, nothing too crazy right there. Let's look at these. DRAY, that's an ETF right there. Starting to curl up. I generally don't play these Yield Max, but what is that? DraftKings one? Is that what that is? I guess DKNG. Yeah. So there you are. And DKNG was looking good. We were already looking at it. So, and Work Medical Technology right here. That's a China one, medical devices, and that's curling up and not looking too bad at the moment. So you can take a look at that one right there. And that is what it looks like in the market. And there you go. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. You know, we do this show every evening, Sunday night through Thursday night at 8 p.m. And then, of course, we do our pre-market show at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. So, you know, we will be on at 7 a.m. to see what this market looks like. And, of course, NVIDIA, Apple, and the Mag 7, everybody else, and what's going to be popping, Riot, and ORIS, and Plug, and all them good guys that we've been giving out. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Be sure to check out the Joe Exotic concert video that I posted up. I have it pinned up on my X account there, so you guys can check that out and go ahead and repost it out and post out hashtag free Joe Exotic and show them a little support right there. So that will be that'll make them happy, and we're trying to get Joe Exotic out of prison. Like I was saying at the beginning, can you imagine sitting in a prison cell knowing that you did not do anything wrong, and everybody in the case has come out and admitted that they committed perjury, and they're all just walking around free as can be doing crazy things, and here this guy's still sitting in prison when everybody knows he didn't do anything wrong. Even the guy that was supposed to be the hitman said that he had never even collected money or did anything with Joe Exotic, and he says it on multiple interviews, and it's in Netflix too and everything else. So it's pretty wild, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So go ahead, check out that video. And like I said, that was a crazy concert thing on this weekend down the shore. And what is that town called? I completely forget. Seabright. Yeah, that place is pretty wild right down there. Beautiful shore town up in North Jersey. So check that video out. That was a lot of fun this weekend. I went and checked that out and was talking about it Sunday night. And there you go in the video. Where is they going? I have no idea where is they going, Michael Anthony. But to get 100 billion, I think that CEO lied again to sell his shares to anyone else. Like he said, three different days last week. So not sure what you're even talking about right there. And AI needs AI chips, energy, data centers, and cooling. That's the word I was looking for. Follow the money trail. You're absolutely right there, Laptop Travel. And yeah, cooling right there. That's one of the big ones. Without cooling, all these data centers and all these things, none of it can run, guys. So cooling is a huge element, and it's so expensive that there's all these new companies trying to figure out and reinvent, I guess, new ways to try to cool these processes because it's crazy. And yeah, so you have all these different elements going on, and including spilling water all over myself. But yeah, you have all these elements going on in AI, and that is what keeps on creating the market to just keep on popping up. It's the perfect recipe, and Trump's just pushing it along, obviously. So, and that's why they're building them in Canada. There, deep soul diving. They're building them everywhere. And remember, I talked to that guy Whit Damer, and I'm telling you, that's how he got into the industry from Infinite Quant right there. If you didn't check that video out, you could check that one out. Interesting, very bright guy. And I'm telling you, that guy was ahead of his time every single time. And so, yeah, Witt was doing data centers like a decade ago. He was building these things. So just imagine he has many of them. And so just imagine what they were just selling for and renting them out and all that good stuff. So, a well sold $90 million of open today. There you go. Holy shit. That's crazy. Excuse me. I think I'm catching a cold or my allergies. Holy cow. Yeah, I think my allergies are starting to bother me as the as fall kicks in. I think this is like one of my worst allergy seasons. But anyway, I'll deal with it and we'll rock and roll right through it. You know that. Holy cow, $90 million of open today. And like I said, yeah, I told you guys that door was closing. And I tried to tell you guys. I mean, that one spike up, I was kind of surprised. And but yeah, it wasn't going up any higher than that. And we kind of knew that. So we were talking about a few companies provide power needs better than Wolf right there. So there you go. I know Luis Rodriguez does like TerraWolf. So there you go, everybody. And I would say that's a fun market review on our Monday night and a football game going on. As a matter of fact, there's 2 seconds left in the second quarter, and it's 14-14 right now. And I'm not sure who's going to try to score. I guess somebody's going to try to kick a field goal at the end of the half. And then you guys can go enjoy the whole entire second half of the Monday night game. It looks like Detroit is going to try to kick a field goal to take the lead to go into the half. So I'll let you guys know. I have no idea how far he is, but there you go. And of course, remember when Bitcoin miners started, they sought out cheap electricity in cold environments. So follow the logical trail of AI needs. And there you go, laptop travel. That's why they're building them in Canada for sure. It is a little bit cooler up there. And I'll let you guys know if this dude kicks through the field goal. I'm not even sure where he's at. Where the heck is he? Is he on his own 40? I have no idea. He's got to be pretty far back because Baltimore has some. Yeah, he's past the 50. I guess it's going to be like 57 yards, it looks like, possibly, if he gets it through. Let's see. I'll let you guys know. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it looks like it's wide. It was wide left, it looked like. So he missed the field goal. He had the distance, though. He definitely had that down. And we're going into halftime at 14-14, Detroit versus the Baltimore Ravens there. So you guys can catch the second half. And yeah, he kicked it just a little bit wide. I mean, that wasn't by much. I'll say that. It was a pretty good attempt there. But anyway, it wasn't through, and you have to get it through and to get your points. And there you go, everybody. I would say that's a fun evening on a Monday night. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Thanks again for hanging out, everybody. Luis Rodriguez, and of course, Laptop Travel, Robin, Doge, Mom, and 9. And I know Deepak was here. Zach was on, Deleted was on, Deep Soul Diving, and so many other people. Taxi was on. Taxi driver asked about Holo. That's looking good right there. And a bunch of other people tuning in and chiming in. Of course, our buddy Michael Anthony at the end of the evening always comes on. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to follow along on X, YouTube, and Instagram. And definitely follow on Instagram, trying to get them numbers up and posting more stuff on that. And of course, we will be on at 7 a.m. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed Mr. Bull and Mr. Bear at the beginning of the show. They like to come on and hang out every once in a while as well. So I'll be looking to see what's going on in the market. I'll post my night note in the Discord. Laptop Travel will be on with his 4 a.m. Warriors in the Discord, crushing it as usual. So be sure to check that out and check out Laptop Travel's newsletter. It's always good. I was just checking it out. As a matter of fact, Michael Anthony, his last newsletter was about data centers, about a data center. So there you go. I'm trying to remember the name. We were talking about that one today on the show. TGEN, I'll tell you right now. TGEN, I'll give you a little spoiler right there. And so there you go, TGEN. And he did an article about that. So there you go, everybody. I would say a fun time this evening. Let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to hit me up on X. I respond to everybody. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. We'll see what's happening with crypto, of course, and everything else in the market, what's going to be popping up there. And we'll obviously be watching that riot, ORIS. And we've been on a fire lately, guys. And I'll just keep putting out the good setups in the night note and in the Discord for you guys so that we can just keep on cruising along, because I just been hitting the ones that I been putting on there. I'm not going to lie. BBAI, plug right there. Two beauties. Snap before ran up today. ORIS and Riot. So yeah, I would say it is going to be a some more great setups. And let me see. Did I see where I Money Mark called out Friday on a show? No, I did not. What did he say? Laptop travel. I have no idea what Money Mark said. Um, I did not hear that actually, but he'll usually mention me and say that I do well on the charts. Like I said, Money Mark's a great dude. He's been around for a while, and he called the 99 buy. He's the one that brought that all up to my attention, and I started like going back and comparing the charts for the AI right now and what was going on back in the .com area in like 98, 99. And you can just see what was going on there was obviously the .com bubble was just pushing the market. Every time the market wanted to pull back a little bit, something would come out and it would just keep catapulting the market. And it just got in the territories where people weren't comfortable, but nobody would see it dropping down. And then obviously you're going to see it fall down eventually, but would it run like almost a year and a half, 2 years? And it made a lot of millionaires. I know that. I'm pretty sure Money Mark retired from that and has been still dabbling in the market doing things. And what did he say today on the small cap show? I think he's like 16 for 16 in his portfolio and trading. And he is super picky with the ones he picks. But like I tell you guys, it's about quality, not quantity. You don't need to trade 100 of them to make money. You only need to trade one, hit it out perfectly, and you knock it out the park, and you're going to do better than trying to trade them all. And he was scoffing at my optimism. So there we are. And he said we're headed for a correction. So, yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about it. But again, you're going to see pullback. I just don't see a correction. We're way up there, and we've seen it again. We've seen it before. And I was actually a little more skeptical before, and now it's just, I mean, the markets are just looking too strong. You're going to see that pullback, the SPY will run up just as it did here, and you get that pullback, and it wasn't much, and it runs right back up to its all-time highs. So they will absolutely be good opportunities, and we'll be just pivoting around the market. And like I said, you can see the IWM setting up right here for these small caps to start running. And that's what you do. You just find the ones that want to run and just pick up on them and cruise along. So there you go. And you guys can follow Money Mark. He's a great guy. And the small cap show. And I'll make sure Laptop Travel hops on next Monday as well. I don't think Emp even knew there, but I'll make sure I give him a heads up. I know it was a little crazy as soon as Ben said that he was packing up and trying to head out. I was like, oh, it'll be a little crazy of a show. So we'll get it all back to normal on Monday. Laptop Travel, we'll have you back on there. Make sure that you can be a speaker as well. And there you go. So yeah, if you missed the small cap show today, you can check that out. It was a good one as usual. We'll have Laptop Travel back on there next week. Make sure that he gets on there. And yeah, there you go, everybody. So thank you, Doge Mama 9. You're awesome, and everybody else that hangs out. And then you're welcome for all the info. I just kind of tell you what I see in the market, and that's what we can do. And like I say, nobody's ever going to be perfect, but we're pretty damn accurate with what we do on this show. That's for sure. We've even called out elections and assassination attempts. We do it all. It's a lot of fun. And so I enjoy it, and thank you so much. And like I always say, it's the best cognitive therapy for my brain injury. I don't think I'd be doing this well in life if I did not start doing this show. So I can't thank everybody enough for showing up each and every night and morning because it makes me want to actually get up and do the show. And I know you guys are going to be here. I'm definitely going to be here. You guys know that. So I can't thank you guys enough. And we're just cruising right along. And I think we're going to be crushing the market, honestly. A little bit of pullback, possibly. I'm not worrying about it, guys, because we'll just rock out on ones like Raya, ORIS, and the smaller caps. They're all setting up, and the charts are looking good. Remember way back in the beginning of Showtime, in the last administration, I used to say, it was so tough to read the charts, and now look how much easier it is. I know I had said that as the administrations were changing too. I remember even saying, I bet the charts get back to normal. It might take a little while, and here we go. We are back to normal, I think. So be sure to hit the like button on your way out, folks. Thank you, Laptop Travel, for always reminding me to say that. So, yeah, definitely hit the like button, repost it, and we will be on at 7 a.m. So be sure to tune in on the morning live show and also on the Discord live show. Laptop Travel will be on at 9 a.m. doing that one. So lots of information for tomorrow, and we'll just keep continuing to crush the market, guys. And I don't think I'm going to be looking back. We're just going to keep on going forward. It doesn't matter what the market wants to do. We'll pick out all the poppers. We'll just keep on cruising along. We'll find out when crypto wants to run up. We'll see what the news is tomorrow and everything else. And oh yeah, how about that Tylenol news right there? And the autism. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know if they have 100% proof. Just my opinion too. But I wouldn't doubt anything in our the medicine today. I'm like completely anti-pharmaceutical companies. I don't believe in any kind of medicine. I'm a cannabis guy, and I've created my own tinctures for everything. I've literally made a tincture to help prevent seizures, and it's worked on over 100 people. And I make tinctures for, if anything, if I ever don't feel good, I just take that. I don't take any kind of over the counter medicine. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a crazy story real quick to end the show. Yeah, my life's crazy. Go figure. No, I was talking about the mortgage company that I used to work for. That was a long time ago. I was like in my 20s. I was in college back then, and they used to do tuition reimbursement. They paid for your college. It was a pretty cool job. But anyway, I used to work there, and my mom was actually a big supervisor at that company. So anyway, I worked at this company. I wasn't feeling well one day. I go to Rite Aid, and I get Dayquil. I take the Dayquil just as it says on the package. I don't take any more or less. I just take what it says I should take. And then I get in my car and I drive over to work, which is it's like a 15-20 minute drive from my house, and maybe 25 minutes. And it's on a highway. And so I'm driving down the highway and I get to work and I don't remember anything, guys. Like I literally was like, you know how they say like robo tripping or whatever, like people drink Robitussin to like hallucinate. Well, I only took a little bit, like the amount that you're supposed to, and I was definitely hallucinating. I just didn't realize it. It's a good thing I used to party, but so I drove to work, and when I pulled up to work, I get into the parking lot. I don't remember any of the drive there down the highway, anything. And so I look in the mirror, and here I had like welts like out of my face, like I mean a giant, like a golf ball sized welt just like growing out of my head. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like feeling, I'm like, holy shit, that's not good. What the hell's going on? And now I'm like whacked out of my mind. And so I try to get out of the car. I'm sitting there in the car. I'm like, I can't go in work looking like this. And I'm like, but if I don't go in there, I might not make it. Like, they might find me dead out here. I don't know what's going on. So I open up the car door and I literally fall out of my car. Like I couldn't even move. I was like, what the hell just happened? So yeah, I'm whacked out of my mind. I pull myself up, and in this company I used to work at, we had a nurses station, and it happened to be right next to my department. You'd walk in, it looked like a hotel entrance. Like I said, they used to occupy 4 huge buildings. It was the second largest employer in New Jersey at one point. So you'd walk in, it looked like a hotel entrance, and then you just make a left. The nurses station was right there, and my department was right there at that next door. So I would just go right in there. So I walk in and I go past the nurses station. I don't even stop there. I go into my department. There was this dude. I'll never forget this, guys. As much as a brain injury I have, I remembered the story the other day for some reason. And like I said, my long-term memory is starting to come back, and it just kind of reminded me with all the Tylenol going on. So there's this guy, Ned. He was the coolest dude, and he was a little older than me, and he worked there. he's sitting back on the lunch break, and you could tell he was like a hardcore partier back in the day. He was just one of them cool ass older guys. And he's sitting there eating lunch, and I walk in and I go, "Yo, Ned." I'm like, "Yo, I don't know what the F is going on, dude, but I feel like I'm out of my mind." And he's sitting there looking down. He just looks up at his face. He's like, "Holy shit, dude, what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I'm like fucked up." And he's like, "Hold on." So he runs out of the little area where we had like a little kitchen where we could warm up our food and stuff. And he ran out there and grabbed our two supervisors, and they weren't even much older than me. Worked in this young department. It was a really fun time. I'm telling you, we had a great time at this company. And I'll tell you even a crazier story after this one. Let me write it down. UPS crazy story from PHH. I'll tell you that one. This one you'll love. But anyway, let me get back to this one real quick. So yeah, so he runs out, he grabs these two supervisors, they come back and they're like, "Holy shit, what's going on?" I tell them like, "Yo, I just took Dayquil. I don't even know what's going on." So they're like, "All right, let's go to the nurse." They walk me down like another 10 steps to the nurse's office, and then they tell her what's going on. And luckily the one supervisor, Dana, she was like, "Wait, Doug's mom's like a big supervisor here. Why don't we call her?" And here she's in the middle of like a big meeting. They go in and call her. My mom said, she's like, "I felt like you were in like school, like a little kid. They came in and get me and told me you were at the nurse's office and something was wrong." So she was in a different building. I had to drive over to the building I was at. Thank goodness. And because I'm pretty sure they were probably going to send me on an ambulance ride. Somehow the nurse there didn't know what to do. She was like calling the hospitals and they were like, "Just give him Benadryl." So they gave me Benadryl. My mom came out. And I'm allergic. I was allergic to like everything my whole life growing up. So she came over and I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm all right." So they made me sit there for a couple hours because I was whacked out of my mind. And then they let me drive home. And I was out of work for a few days because I had like big ass what like these welts were all over my head and stuff. It was crazy, guys. So I had to go see, and I've been to allergists and stuff before. No one knew what happened, and still to this day, no one ever knew what happened. They think it was the dye that was in the Dayquil, but they're not 100% sure. So when I had seen a couple doctors after that, they were like, "Look, you just can't take over the counter medicine. I wouldn't risk that again. That was a crazy allergic reaction, and the next time you could literally die." And I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty wacky. I'm telling you, I was like tripping my face off. It was crazy. I'm telling you, it was wild." So that happened, and so yeah, I don't take over the counter medicine. And again, I'm a cannabis guy. I just believe in cannabis can pretty much heal it all. So I just use that. If you have a headache, it works. Everything. I mean, it just works. So yeah, I've told you this before. I'm not a pharmaceutical enthusiastic person anyway. I just think the whole industry, yeah, they have some good things, but for the most part, it's nonsense. And they're just huge lobbyists. That's the problem. They have so much money and they lobby for anything that they want to do to to improve their agenda and make them more money. So I'm just not into it. But anyway, that is my crazy story, and I'll tell you even a crazier story from that company. This was the best. So I worked in this department, and this was the best story ever, guys. And I didn't even remember this until I was just talking about the other one. And here we go. You're gonna love this story right here. So I worked in this department. It was like a print department for this big ass mortgage company. I had the sweetest job ever, guys. I used to walk around with headphones with music on and just print stuff out of printers and hand them out to people, and they'd have to put all the packages. Basically, like if you're say like you know how they used to send you all them envelopes, like the packages for like credit cards and mortgages and stuff. We would do that, but for the people that actually were like applying and getting like we had their information. It wasn't just like spam mail. Anyway, so I'd print out a bunch of packages. I had all these. I would work with like 50 printers, and they'd get jammed up, and you'd have to fix them and stuff. Whatever. It was a cool job when I was back in college days, and so I had this pretty cool. Like it was just me and this other guy that did this one part of the job. Everyone else, their job kind of sucked because they had to put all these packages together. I had done that, and then I kind of got promoted to like the cool ass part. And then you'd work in the mail room, which was just like a circus in there, guys. And UPS, it was so big that we actually had at the part like UPS would work in there. They had their own UPS guys that would actually work in our print room and the UPS trucks would come round the clock. I mean, we'd fill up UPS trucks nonstop. Sometimes they'd send like 10 over. The UPS guy would tell them, like, yo, we need 7 trucks. They'd send 7 trucks. They'd load these things up to them. I mean, fill them completely, and then they'd ship it all out. So, ton of packages going out of here. So, I'd work in that little print room, and then I'd work in the other department and help out both people. So, I had a pretty cool job. So, the one night, here I worked. I'd go in like at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like after school, and then work until like 9 or 10 o'clock. I forget exactly. So the one night I'm in the mail room, and it's the greatest story ever, guys. You can't make this up. I'm telling you right now. I'm already laughing because it was so funny. Um, I'm in the mail room, right? And this somebody comes down with this package. Now, the supervisor, like the big wigs, like the president of the company, the COO, all these big wigs are going out west for this conference. They're going out on the West Coast. And so we had already known because some people's luggage, some of their stuff had to come down and get shipped out. And we had known exactly who's like what had to go because we had to put it separate. It was getting early. Next day aired early AM, so it was like the expensive, packaging. So it was already there for them. So anyway, we had all this stuff set up, and so we were saving it all for the one truck. It was all going to go on one truck. That's what UPS wanted to do. So of course, that's what we're doing. So anyway, late at night, like 7:30 comes around, and one of the girls that worked upstairs, I guess she was like an assistant or somebody to like one of the big wigs. Like I said, you're talking like a COO, somebody really big in the company. And she comes down with this box, like this pretty decent sized box, and she's like, "Hey, so and so, I don't even remember his name, but I won't even say it anyway." She's like, "So and so said to bring this package down. It's supposed to go for with the rest of the stuff for next day early AM." We're like, "All right, cool." So we take the box, and here we put it with the rest of the stuff. And when we put the box down, guys, the box starts shaking, and we're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And so the UPS guy, I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of it. They had the 2 coolest UPS dudes working with us. They were the coolest guys ever. Can't think of their names. They used to come in and we would just crack up. It was so much fun. So the UPS guy's looking at the box. He's going, "Yo, what's in that box? It's shaking, dude. It's like vibrating. We can't you can't send the box. It's just vibrating like that." So I'm like, "I don't know. I don't even know what's in this stuff." And he's like, "Well, someone's going to have to open up the box and make sure that, whatever it is, it's not, uh, it can't go like this." So we're like, "All right." So we have to call our supervisor over. We're like, "Yo, there's a box that this girl, I don't remember her name, dropped off for one of the big wigs here, and the box is like vibrating, and UPS wants to open it up. So someone has to come in and open this box." Guys, I'm not kidding. So we bring in the supervisor, comes in, and we're all standing around this table. This box is just vibrating. We're like, "What the hell is in this box?" Like, this is crazy. I'm telling you guys, they cut this box open, they open it up, and it's literally like dildos, whips, all these like all this crazy shit, like sexual shit. They left the batteries in the dildo, and it turned on, and it was vibrating. And yeah, so we're sitting there looking at each other going, "What the F are we going to do?" And the supervisor's like, "Holy cow, dude. Like, this is like," now we're talking about somebody that's like way over all of us. That's whose box this is. Like one of the big wigs, I'm telling you. And it wasn't the CEO, but it was like somebody up there. And so that supervisor had to go and call a director that was the director of like all of our departments. And I remember his name was Ed. He was really cool dude. He was an older guy. He had like the southern accent, just super, super chill guy. And Ed, we had to call up Ed, and it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. It's pretty late at night. It was right at the end of the night too. This lady brings this package down, and so we call up Ed. Well, the supervisor calls up Ed and tells him what happened. So now Ed has to come in, and Ed calls up another another director or somebody, and 2 people like bigwigs come into the building there at like 9 o'clock, and we're all stuck there now because it's like this big ordeal, and then we're just cracking up laughing. I mean, it's like the funniest thing we'd ever seen, and you should have seen the shit in this box. I mean, it was crazy, guys. And now UPS is like, "Guys, don't touch anything. We need rubber gloves." Because I'm telling you, this shit was crazy in there. And so yeah, these supervisors come in and they take the box, and they take it with them, and then they called the CEO of the company at about 10 o'clock at night and had to tell the CEO of the company what had just happened. And then the CEO had to come in, and I knew the CEO. I knew his son. His son, again, my mom was a supervisor, a pretty big supervisor there. She had worked there forever at this company. They had changed names like 3 times, and she'd been there from the very beginning. I used to go to Phillies games. He wasn't the CEO at the time. I think he was like the VP. And I used to hang out with his son, and he used to take us to Phillies games. So I knew the CEO. I personally knew him. And then we all like went to the Poconos one weekend, and I took his son, James. He went with me. Like that, they were like, "All right, you can drive with Doug." And so yeah, I knew the CEO and his family, like personally. I knew them, so they had to call him up and have him come in at like 10:30 at night and deal with this. And needless to say, the person got fired, obviously. And you know what they got fired for? I'll tell you what they got fired for. They got fired. This was the reason that they fired them, because they were stealing from the company and sending their personal items through the company's mail. They said if they, and you could actually pay for it yourself if you came down and said, "Hey, this is my package, has to go out, just tell me what I owe you," and they would do it. They would do that sometimes. You could actually mail stuff out the mail room if you wanted to. You just bring a package in, and they would just tell you what it costs. You would just pay for it. So yeah, you could actually just do that, and that's why they fired the guy. And like I said, he was like the VP of the company, guys. And you're talking a huge mortgage company, and yeah, he was. I'm telling you, when these balls and chains and whips, and it was the crap. I mean, you just opened up a box of like that BSDM or whatever the hell, BDSM. That's what it looked like. It was crazy. And yeah, the box was sitting there vibrating as we were standing. I'm telling you, we grabbed the box off the counter and just popped it on the thing. And as soon as we put it down, the thing started vibrating. We were like, "What the hell is in that box?" And yeah, that's what was in that box. But it was the craziest story and one of the craziest nights. And like I said, I remember we had to stay like an extra hour, and because we were all like there, and the director was obviously trying to get it all figured out, and we were trying to, we had to get the print room or the mailing room closed down, and it was all kinds of craziness going on with this box, and UPS had to get out of there, so we didn't know what was going on. So I remember staying a little later, because I remember being there when the CEO showed up, because he came over and shook my hand, and everybody was just looking at me like, "What the hell does he know the CEO?" But again, I'm telling you the story because I knew who he was before he was the CEO, and super, super nice guy. I mean, very, very nice people, and nice family. But yeah, crazy story, guys. So, little word of advice there: don't send packages through the company mail, having them pay for it when you have vibrators and stuff like that in, or make sure you take the batteries out. That's what UPS was saying. They're like, "Dude, you got to make sure you take the batteries out of shit like that." That's what the UPS guy kept saying. It was so funny. It was the craziest. I remember the director had come in and being like, "I can't believe he left batteries." And then, like, that's what everybody kept saying. No one really cared that he was even all the crazy shit there. Everyone was just like, "I can't believe he left the batteries in this thing." And so, yeah, there you go. Crazy, crazy stories right there for you. But yeah, that's what happened to me with my Dayquil. And then a crazy packaging story when I used to work at that mortgage company. So, yeah, it was a interesting job for sure. Like I said, I worked in a print room, mail room sort of deal, and it was awesome. It was just one of the coolest jobs. Everybody in there, we were all college kids. Even our supervisors were like college kids. I mean, it was just like I said, the supervisor was like a year older than me, and yeah, it was just awesome. As long as we made our quota and did our work, and our quality was good, nobody cared. We had pizza parties every week. They'd buy us lunch almost like every single day. It was nuts. I'm telling you, the company did really well for a long time, and they were super generous, and they would take care of their employees. That's for sure. And so yeah. Anyway, interesting story right there, but don't send packages with the batteries in your craziness right there. And Deep Soul Diving said his milk brother sometimes switches on in the your milk something in the drawer, and the most baffling sound to track it down. That's pretty funny. And so yeah, crazy stuff right there. Good story. And alcohol induced sleep is not deep theta sleep. Deep Soul Dive and said, yeah, actually, alcohol-induced sleep is never really good, to be honest with you. It'll make you pass out, but it will definitely make you feel like shit too. Laptop Travel. So when he was younger, his grandmother was always taking Geritol. If I don't remember, that name sounds familiar. Discovered it was like 80% alcohol, and he told her to stop taking that stuff. Yeah, we're talking about pharmaceutical medicines and stuff and all that. And now, actually, it's funny. I just seen an article or something, a statistic that more people are like having knee replacements in their 40s and 50s and elderly people, because they said that so many people are like basically hopped up on pharmaceutical drugs, and the numbers like astronomical. So yeah, people fall all the time because they're all whacked out of their minds on pharmaceuticals. So that's happening as well, and the statistics are definitely up there for that kind of thing. So anyway, some fun stories there to end the show. And I would say, yeah, put that in your latte right there, Laptop Travel, some of that Geritol. I remember hearing of that stuff back in the day. I don't know what the heck it was, but I do remember hearing of that stuff. And there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the story right there of the vibrating box and my Dayquil. So that did happen, and that's how we're going to end the show. So thank you again for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Any questions, be sure to hit me up on X, and we'll be on at 7 a.m. So be sure to like the show. Let me know what you think of them two stories. Like I said, the vibrating one is definitely a wild story. I just remembered that story as I was telling you guys the story of the Dayquil. I totally forgot, and I'm kind of it's exciting when I remember things, because again, my memory isn't so well, especially my short term, but I really feel like my long term memory is getting way better now. So it is pretty exciting. I'm telling you, I took probably the hardest hit in the history of life and survived. And clearly, I was out of it for a while. But yeah, I'm starting to get it back together a little bit. It's over 2 years now, and a lot of cognitive therapy and everything else. I got to start my vision therapy, so I got to call and set that up and do that. That'll be the last one that I can actually do. And I definitely need it. You guys can tell my reading comprehension and stuff is so bad. They say it could take another year, but they say I could get all that back, and I would be amazing, guys. I got hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a 2-story house right in the head. I mean, nothing stopped that thing. Came straight down and just whacked me. And I'm sitting here telling the story for one thing, but not only that, I'm getting my long-term memory back and all that good stuff. So yeah, you just got to kind of push forward and not let things get you down. And like I said, I definitely did a lot of therapy, guys. I mean, tons of it. I was doing concussion therapy there for 3 days a week when it happened. And I was definitely out of my mind. I was in another galaxy there for a while. It was pretty fascinating, to be honest with you. And like I always say, every few months, I still feel like I come back down to planet Earth a little bit. And it does have a little bit to do. Like I said, I get my long-term memory back a little bit. I start feeling a little better. So hopefully my short-term memory can come back some. And I think it might have started a little bit, but it's still pretty bad. Again, I had a photographic memory, guys, so I could easily remember anything. And now it's obviously a struggle. So just part of pivoting through life and adapting. And that's exactly what we do in the market. So there you go. And here's your NXTT. Oh, you were talking about NXXT. I thought you were talking about that one. Let's see. What's this one? Next NRG. I don't know what that's up to right there, Michael Anthony. And NXXT is cheaper. That looks like oil. And yeah, well, NXXT, or the other one, was the one that we just ran up. This one just popped up the other day. And that was a beauty right there. I did a video on that one, NXTT right there, and did my sell video on that. But yeah, NXXT, I'm not sure what that's up to. Doesn't look that crazy, but it did jump up in the after hours. I got to see it on here real quick before we hop off. Now you got my attention. And yeah, it does actually look like it's going to curl off that MACD tomorrow. It didn't look as good on the FinViz there, but it doesn't look too bad right there. As it jumped up, you can see. Sorry. I'm telling you, my allergies are killing me. Oh, man. Anyway, my apologies. But yeah, it did roll off that MACD. It doesn't look bad. And it did jump up right there. And there you go, everybody. I would say that's a fun 2 hours plus on our night show and a couple good stories to end the night right there. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be on at 7 a.m. We don't miss any days, and we'll check out the market in the morning, see what's going to be popping so that we can run it up and build our accounts even bigger. Just keep compounding it. I've been doing it. I started an account on Webull, guys. I'll post it all and show you guys, and I'll really start to get it in with everybody on the Discord so that we can all just trade together. Like I said, I've been kind of just experimenting with the minute charts and kind of flying around here and looking at different things. So I've been in a little bit of a different zone, but I have been trading and now on these things, and we'll get everybody on board so everybody knows exactly which ones are going to be popping and flying and when to get in and out of them. So that is the next plan there. And each time we make the Discord a little bit better, it always gets a little bit better. That night note's been on fire. I'm glad I started that because I'm telling you, it helps me out. I look at it and I'm like, oh, these are our poppers for tomorrow. I should probably use this bad boy. So I've definitely been running the ones off of that night note, and they are popping. Look at Raya, ORIS, and all of them. I mean, they do take a few days to set up. I'm always early, and that's perfectly fine. I've come to terms with I can be as early as it wants to be, and as long as I'm confident that that chart is going to do what it wants to do, and it's going to pop, and it's a perfectly executed trade, you're going to make a lot of money on them, and you might not get rich overnight, but if you continue to do that week in and week out daily, it'll just keep on growing, guys. And I know it because I've done it so many times before. So I purposely started with my Webull account with $500, and it's already up to like over $2,000 in a couple days. So yeah, it's I'm telling you, we're going to just crush it together and have a lot of fun. So there you go, everybody. Fun is Six Flags. What's that up to? I didn't even know. I thought they were like going out of business, Six Flags, at some point. And I don't know about that one bouncing right there, Michael Anthony. I'd have to look at it. It looks like it might pull back a little bit more to me. So we'll look at FUNE and we'll see when that one wants to have fun. But it does look like it could be pulling back at the moment. And there you go. I would say that's a fun live show right here and a market review. So thank you again. I'll catch you guys in the morning. See you guys at 7. Go catch the rest of the NFL game. I guess it's still halftime right now. So perfect to catch the second half. And it was, 14-14. So there you go, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.